Hey everyone, this is IMAX Nation 1980 here with another episode of Vinyl Time. This title was requested by Hoffner96. It's Paul McCartney and Wings, Rose Speedway, released May 4th, 1973 in the United Kingdom, and released earlier in the United States on April 30th. This is Paul McCartney's fourth album and the second Wings album. It's credited to Paul McCartney and Wings this time around because the first album, Wildlife, was only credited to Wings, and it didn't do very well. If you want to know more about Wildlife, request that album and I'll do a video on that. So of course you can request whatever you want to see in full detail. This would be a different album. It would be more of a bridge between the rushed recording that Wildlife was and the great album that Band on the Run was. So Rose Speedway was a good album, even though it did get mixed reviews upon release. There's the back of it. The message for Stevie Wonder there on the back, if you could see it. We got Wings Fun Club rather than Fan Club. Copyright. Originally it was going to be a double album with some live recordings from the Wings Over Europe tour. The album was recorded from March to October of 1972, and that's when the Wings University and the Wings Over Europe tours took place. Only one recording from that tour had ever been released, and that was The Mess, which was the B-side of My Love, which was the big single from this album. It reached #1 in the United States, and it was the reason why this album did very well. It had a hit single to support it. I think Wildlife didn't do so well because it didn't really have a big single to support it, even though it was a critically panned album. You got all your artwork in here, and there's photos from the tour. I'll show you the whole book, of course. Paul getting a shave there. EMI convinced Paul McCartney that the double album was not a good idea, so a lot of songs would see, release as B-sides. Some of them remain unreleased to this day. You can hear some of them on the B-sides of some of Paul McCartney's 1973 singles, My Love included, along with Live and Let Die, which has I Lie Around on the B-side, which would later be a bonus track on the CDs, both the 87 and the 1993 CD. And Country Dreamer was the B-side of Hell on Wheels, and that would be the bonus track to the 1987 CD of Rose Speedway, and then the 1993 CD for Band on the Run. A couple other songs include Mama's Little Girl. That was recorded during the sessions, and it ended up as the B-side of Put It There, and later as a bonus track on the 1993 Wildlife CD. Here you got the Wings lineup for the time. Denny Seiwell, along with Denny Laine, of course. Denny Seiwell was with them on Wildlife, and Henry McCullough joined them for this album. The album features 2 Ram outtakes, Get on the Right Thing and Little Lamb Dragonfly, featuring Hugh McCracken and Dave Spinoza. One of the songs on the medley is Hold Me Tight, and it is not a remake of Paul McCartney's Hold Me Tight for the Beatles with the Beatles album. It's a completely different song. There's Linda there. Most saw the medley as an answer to Abbey Road's medley. Most likely. Although I think the Abbey Road medley is certainly better. This medley is still pretty good. More surreal artwork here. And of course, Wings went on tour to promote it after it was released. Denny Seiwell and Henry McCullough left before the recording of Band on the Run. some interesting artwork here. There's Power Cut, one of the medley tracks, written a couple times there. If you look very closely at some of these photos and drawings, you could see Seaside Woman. That was a song that Linda McCartney sang lead vocals on. It wouldn't be released until 1977 under the credited to Susie and the Red Stripes, and 3 years later an animated short film based on the song was made and released. Look it up on YouTube, you'll find it. Here you got your lyrics. Unfortunately, the book isn't in very good condition. That's the way it came. It didn't even come with an inner sleeve either. But the album itself plays fine. A couple pops, but not too many scratches. And there's the back of it again. Unfortunately, it's kind of ripped on the bottom. As you can see, the record is kind of comes out there. That's the way it came, unfortunately. See there. So there you have it. That was Paul McCartney and Wings, Red Rose Speedway. Also interesting is that the sticker came unattached, but when you bought it in stores when it first came out, that sticker would be on it. I've seen copies of it at record stores from time to time with the sticker intact. This is the way it came, unfortunately. There you have it. Paul McCartney and Wings, Red Rose Speedway. Thanks for watching. This is IMAX Nation 1980, signing off.